All right, here we go with another quick how-to video. Got this new Penn rod. This is the Penn Squadron 3. It's a 7/6 medium light fast rod, 8 to 15 pound. But as you can see, it has cork handles, but in this size, and no other handles were available, and this is the rod I wanted, so so we got this. But I'm not a particularly big fan of cork handles. I do a lot of surf fishing, fishing in the sand and whatnot, and the sand just gets all up in here, and I just don't like it. So what I do with my cork handles is I go on to Amazon. I get this heat shrink tube wrap, or heat shrink wrap, whatever you want to call it. And what I do is I measure the biggest width of this cork handle here and up here, and make sure whatever width this is, you buy the heat shrink wrap at that outside diameter that matches this widest area. So in this particular case, this rod or this handle is about little more than an inch in diameter. So what I did is I went on to Amazon, and you can get 4-foot sections, 8-foot sections. You get 50-foot sections of this if you like. But this was only a 4-foot section because I don't need a lot. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply take it from just a little bit past the end here and a little bit past the end here. Once we finish it, you just trim it and trim it to size. But I'm going to go about an 1/8 inch past the end on both sides. So about right there. I'm going to take a pair of scissors, sharp scissors. I'm going to cut just directly across that. Okay, that's handled. I'm going to go ahead and slip this over. And again, this is just my preference. If you like cork handles, that's perfectly fine. But again, with the sand and everything that I do surf fishing with, I don't like cork. So I'm going to go ahead. Now I'm just going to slip this right over. Just like so. Again, just make sure it's about an 1/8 inch past, 1/8 inch past. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to go ahead and trim it anyways. Okay, so that's done there. That's done there. And all you do is take a heat gun and just slowly work back and forth. On all sides until it's completely shrunk down. Make sure to heat these corners quite a bit, as those are the widest section of this wrap and they'll take the longest to heat up. Just make sure you go on all sides very evenly. And you can see it is it's perfectly sealing and wrapping this cork handle. Don't stay in one spot too long, otherwise, yeah, it's going to melt it and you're going to get undesirable results. Almost done. A little more on that butt end right there. Make it shrink really good onto that end. You can see it shrink pretty good there. Okay, again, don't stay in one spot too long. Just work it along the whole tube. Get the end here real quick. And boom, that's done for that. Now before you do any trimming, definitely want to let this cool down quite a bit, but you can see at the end here, actually it's not quite heated up. Alright, that's good there. Now, it's quite soft, as I'll show it here. You can see it's pretty soft. So what you want to do is, like I said, just let it cool down for quite a while, maybe 10-15 minutes. And once that cooled down, then you could trim this little section here. And if you need to trim this little back end section here, you can. And now I'm going to go ahead and do this little part right up here as well. So again, you go ahead and measure 1/8 inch past or so. 1/8 inch past. It doesn't have to be perfect because again, you're just going to trim it. So about right there. Go. And I'll put a link in the description for this particular heat wrap or heat shrink. And go ahead. And yes, I could have shrunk this piece first, but I just wanted to make sure I had enough tubing to do the longer piece first. Alright, that's all squared away, and actually might be a bit too long. That's a bit too long. I'm going to cut that down just a hair before I shrink it down. Just a little bit, not a lot. Maybe an 1/8 inch right there. Okay, right there, right there. All right, that's good. Go ahead and do the same thing on this. Oh, before I forget, don't heat too much on the resin side of the rod right here. Just enough to get it to shrink, then you'll trim that, but you don't want to heat and melt the resin, okay? You gotta be very careful on this part. Actually, I'm gonna pull it down just a hair. Okay. And there it is. All set. Now when I come back, this will be all cooled off, and I'll go ahead and show you how I trim it, and that'll be that. Alright, this is all done and cooled off. So again, as I said, when it's cooled off, you can go ahead and trim. So this little part right here that goes onto the handle, onto the screw where the reel seat is, I'm going to go ahead and trim it about right there all the way around. So I just take a razor blade and just go right through. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to do the job. Just take a straight line right through. Almost. I could press a little harder, but I just don't want to. There we go. All set there. That's coming undone. Looking good. If I had a little bit sharper razor blade, this would be a lot faster. But I'm not in a rush, so it don't matter. I'll go ahead and cut that. This should come out any moment now. Come on now. There we go. Alright, that's all trimmed, squared away. This can unscrew all the way down if it needs to. But now this is perfectly sealed up, watertight. No leakage, gonna go in there, no water getting on that cork handle. And again, this feels a lot better in my hand than the cork. I just don't like the cork handle, especially when sand gets on it. I'll go ahead and trim this piece up as well. Alright, stretched out. Didn't have to even cut it. There you have it. Clean that up a little bit. But yep, cork gone, perfectly sealed with this, again, this heat shrink wrap. But yeah, there you go. How to cover cork rods or cork handles on your fishing rod with shrink wrap, heat shrink wrap that you can get off Amazon. Super cheap too. I think this 4 feet was only like $6, and I was able to do a few rods with it. But yeah, it works great. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, go get some. Thanks for watching.